Let's go to the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, the great voice of the Minnesota Vikings. I enjoy his broadcast. He gets super energetic. Hopefully he's not too energetic down Monday Night Football, but it's Paul Allen, one of the best play-by-play voices in all of sports. Paul, good morning. Well, thanks for joining us so early in the show here on 95.7 The Game in the Bay Area. How you doing this morning, Paul?
Hey, man, you guys are very nice for the kind words. I appreciate it, and things are quite well here in the cornfields.
The cornfields? I didn't know Minnesota had cornfields.
No.
I thought it was just ice, big lakes and ice and coldness. You guys got cornfields up there?
Yeah, we got a lot of lakes. When the teams aren't doing well, we're known as flyover country, where, we don't have the San Mateo Bay, and we don't have the San Mateo Bridge, and we don't have Golden Gate Fields where you can stand on the roof and look to your right and see the Berkeley Hills and look to your left and see the Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, and the city. Now, we don't have that, but we have an impassioned fan base trying to figure out exactly what goes into the art of an upset.
Oh, really? I like that. What about that history of the Bay Area, Shaska? I know you love that. All right, let's get into it here because Kirk Cousins has been a name, whether you like it or not, has been dropped here in the Bay Area for basically since Shanahan's been hired. Kirk Cousins has always been linked to the 49ers. I'm sure you've heard your fair deal of rumors with Kirk Cousins, but how do Viking fans right now, how are they appreciating Kirk Cousins? We all watched the quarterback doc. Some people loved it. Some people didn't. What's the Viking fans feeling about Kirk Cousins right now?
Well, it's a tough analysis with him. Now, to whom much is given, much is expected, specifically in this part of the country, which, is a pretty simple, easygoing part of the country. But it's also a habit state. So therefore, in 2018, when you become the first to, I guess, have the audacity to take a fully guaranteed 3-year deal, all right, radars are going to be up. Then I guess you got to go 27 Yankees on it to fulfill what the fans believe goes into that guaranteed piece. And 2018, of all the seasons Kirk's played here, was his worst season. So therefore, he kind of started working from behind the proverbial 8 ball right out of the gate. Now, every season, he gradually got better. And for my taste, because of the cold-blooded nature of the way he closed on things last year when we were winning all those one-score games, that's the best season he's ever had in his career. Now, on the other side of it, what makes it quite complicated, and you reference that Netflix docuseries, now I think everybody in the world sees how frequently Kirk has been and at times gets hit. And how he bounces back in just very, very courageous fashion from those hits. So there's a certain degree of respect that will be given to a person for their toughness. Now, when you're 2-4, people are gonna, they're gonna get all antsy and be and have angst. So they're gonna point fingers all over the place, and the quarterback generally will be the first place they will start. That hasn't necessarily been the case this year with Kirk, the way it has been in the past. And then finally, to just further complicate the situation, it's even more difficult to analyze a quarterback's performance when his by far best receiver is going to be out for a handful of games.
Right.
Now, they beat the Bears in their first game without Jefferson, but in watching that thing back, man, I mean, it was just an unbelievably conservative approach taken, I believe, by Kirk in that game to get first downs and not necessarily look deep down the field, to avoid the hits. So we'll see if that changes Monday night because, I'd preach discretion is the better part of valor, but to beat this team with McCaffrey or not, with Deebo or not, they're going to have to be parts of it, man, where valor becomes the better part of discretion. And you need to take chances because, I mean, the 49ers punch, man, and if you don't punch back, you're going to get knocked out.
Yeah. Paul, you guys started off 8-1 last year, 13-4, and everybody in fantasy knows Justin Jefferson's out right now. Dalvin Cook's no longer on the team. What's the biggest difference personnel-wise from last year to this year?
Offensively?
Just in general for the Vikings, because you guys were a really good team. They don't feel as formidable.
Well, yeah, but there have been a lot of changes. I mean, we are in a pigskin purgatory type situation right now, where there were some veterans like Dalvin Tomlinson playing great for Cleveland
right,
with
he destroyed us.
We saw him last week, Paul.
He kicked
we don't want to
crap
see
out
him
of
again. We don't want to see him again.
He killed us.
Well, I think it's the best game Dalvin Tomlinson's ever played, but nevertheless, they're making organizational decisions with like Dalvin or Zadarius Smith, who didn't want to be here anyway, Eric Kendricks, and some other veterans like Dalvin, where they've let them go. Because every single free agency period, man, I'm not kidding you, and I ain't trying to run down my favorite team, but it's like when people are spending in free agency, we're looking between couch cushions for nickels and dimes, and that just has to end. You don't have to be that team that every single year has $80 million to spend in free agency, but like how about Javon Hargrave? I mean, not only do the Niners pluck him from the team to beat in the conference, but he's unbelievably tough, and he's that coveted defensive tackle who can get to the quarterback with those 3 sacks. All right, well, I mean, like, we can't even be in the game to get somebody like that because of the salary cap situation. So that's being fixed on the fly, and there's clearly some pain that goes along with that. Now, on the other side, without Dalvin, and Dalvin, I love Dalvin too. So this is not an affront on him. I really, really enjoy his company. He hasn't been anything special with the Jets when he's gotten opportunities. So if they identified, hey, I think the tread on this tire, may be near zero, and we're going to get out on it. Okay, they may have been right. But what has come off of that? We're one of 2 teams in the NFL with 0 rushing touchdowns. And the running game either has been impotent or it has been inconsistent. Now, that absolutely plays into the lack of the play-action game having merit, specifically without Jefferson. So, Vikings fans, I think, and hope realize that even from 2-4, even as a touchdown dog on Monday night, if you lose on Monday night, you go 2-5. I mean, take a look at the NFC, man, and New Orleans went out and lost again last night.
Yep.
So there's still plenty. Ain't nobody running down the Lions in this division. They hate when I say that around the facility, but ain't nobody running down the Lions in this division. Yep. So therefore, look at the rest of the NFC, and you have a chip chair and a chance to get into that thing. Try to get into it healthy with JJ and see what happens.
Long-time voice of the Minnesota Vikings, Paul Allen, here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Shasky loves it when I talk trenches, Paul. We love the trenches here, and the 49ers got beat up in the trenches last week in Cleveland. Their offensive line handled the Niners' front 7, ran for 160 yards, 4.7 yards a carry. And then on the other side, the offensive line couldn't block that Cleveland front. And Cleveland probably has the best defense in the league. Where is Minnesota at on the offensive line and protecting Kirk Cousins? You mentioned earlier that he's taken a lot of hits, and we all saw that docuseries on Netflix. Where are they at this year? Because I'm sure that defensive line of the 49ers is hungry after getting pounded last week in Cleveland.
Yeah, there's been some baptism by fire to this situation really for the last year. I mean, the amount of 3 techniques and the amount of defensive tackles who can rush the quarterback. And seriously, when I go do radio shows at the Combine in Indianapolis, it's like the last few years, the conversation in essence has been the pass rushing defensive tackle is becoming the new quarterback. I mean, you absolutely have to have the right quarterback unless you're, Kyle Shanahan, who can plug in Brock Purdy and get exactly out of him what he wants. And that's no knock on Brock because he can play the game, but nevertheless, he's not a ballyhooed quarterback. So the Vikings have seen from DeForest Buckner, the former Niner, to Quinnen Williams, those Georgia kids for Philadelphia are unbelievable. Vita Vea. I mean, we just catch unbelievable defensive linemen every single week. Now here comes Hargrave and Bosa and Armstead. Sacks are down, but still you got to double him a lot of times. So here it is again. The good news is that they've been to handling school when it comes to dealing with situations like this. It's getting better week by week. The left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, is Trent Williams light. And his career trajectory, if he continues to improve, is that of hopefully Trent Williams, because they're both very athletic. They both have a mean streak to them. So the left tackle is incredibly good. The right tackle is one of the better in the NFL. The center missed like 4 games, and that hurt. But Bradbury's back, and that has helped. So the offensive line's getting better. But nevertheless, I mean, this challenge this Monday night is going to be formidable.
Paul, you referenced Brock Purdy very briefly there. I would love all your Brock Purdy thoughts.
Well, knowing as much as I do about Kyle Shanahan, now I've never met the man, but, knowing Cousins the way I do, and just really basically it's either Vikings personnel or scout people, who like advanced games. All right. So like say we're playing the Niners Monday, you got these scouts who are advancing the Packers game, which is our next game, and they're taking care of business that way. It's when I talk to those guys about the way Shanahan constructs things and the way he changes things quarter by quarter, game by game, month by month, it's ingenuity that you just don't frequently hear. So he's obviously super well respected as an offensive mind, and it all starts there. So the second part of it is, if you're a quarterback playing for Kyle Shanahan and you're connecting those dots with all the high-end talent. Now, I wouldn't bet McCaffrey's going to play on Monday. I would think Deebo would play. But nevertheless, when they're all going with McCaffrey and Kittle and Deebo and Ayuk and so on, I mean, that's the highest of high-end talent really any team has in the NFL. So here's the deal, man, is if we don't want you to throw outside the numbers, don't do it. When we need you to throw outside the numbers, do it. He follows the plan so beautifully, and you can tell that he's poised and that sneaky little run piece he has to him. So it was a hell of a find. I can't say it was a hell of a find for every team in the NFL, but for this individual team, having Purdy into Darnold, I mean, I think that's an awesome 1-2 punch because Sam's super smart and he has a good arm where he can go like right hash to left boundary. And he's a guy who seems like he would follow the plan. And Garoppolo was like that, but he didn't have the arm. And if he had the arm, he would have hit Emmanuel Sanders, and you would have won a Super Bowl.
Oh, don't remind us.
Is this guru?
Don't remind us, Paul.
Hey, man. Hey, up here in the cornfields with the way this team's going right now, tearing others down to feel better about myself as then folks. So just let me be me.
I will let you be
But it's clear that a certain type of – I mean, Kirk Cousins is the highest of high-end quarterbacks who would fit the Kyle Shanahan system because Kirk is a playbook quarterback. And he's unbelievably smart. He's a scholar of the game. His intermediate to deep passing accuracy is fantastic. So that you could tell Brock's smart. I guess that's how I would wrap it up.
Quickly here, we got a break. We could talk to you all day, Paul, but I know you have a radio show to get to. Lastly, you expect Justin Jefferson to retire a Minnesota Viking?
I can't, man. It's I ain't going to trip out on tomorrow when we have enough things about which to worry today.
Yeah, I hear you. How about
I offer multiple firsts and Deebo Samuel for Justin Jefferson? Huh? You take that?
Paul's not the GM. No, I'm in. Yeah, I mean multiple firsts and Deebo. Are you kidding me? There ain't many teams in the league who wouldn't give up anything for Deebo Samuel and 3 first-round picks.
I don't know, 3's a little aggressive. We've already whiffed on a 3 first-round pick deal. So I don't know.
Hey, but Justin
multiple subjective, my brother. I could have said
Paul's my kind of guy.
Hey, Paul, you're good, dude.
I guess you're the GM and I'm the GM, and I guess we got to hang up the phone.
There it is. Jefferson, it is unfortunate we're going to miss Justin Jefferson. I'm really looking forward to watching him. He's a special talent up there. It's unfortunate, but Addison, we'll see him from USC, and we'll see what happens Monday night. Paul, thanks for the time. I know you got a show to get to, man, so thanks so much for the time today.
Pleasure to add to the caffeinated nature of the roast.
Yes, there you go. You go. We didn't need Paul Allen, voice of the Minnesota Vikings.